how do you say to yourself, okay, I'm finally the man that is of potential or is good enough for marriage. I can be the man that she needs.
I wish I had met my wife when I was 28 years old.
I've seen and I've heard and I also believe that we date like spitting images of ourselves.
Yes.
So like if you are a negative person, you're likely to attract a negative person.
Look at yourself in the mirror, because the one question I like to ask is, if you were to look at the mirror and you didn't see yourself but your character, would you smile or would you be terrified?
Let's throw you back
Yeah.
a couple of years, maybe. You're 21, fresh.
I was a rocky.
I'm a boom boom, you know, you're heavy. Hey guys, how you doing? Hey ladies, hey, how you guys doing? You know what I'm saying? Tell us, how you went from, from that level of, I feel like all black men go through it.
100%.
This level of commitment to going to that, level of commitment. Like, it surely has to be a mindset change. Or is it just when you meet the right person?
Think about it. Lust takes, love gives.
She refuses cooking for you and insists it's only for her to do when she becomes a wife. Is it a makeup or breakup?
See it
Excellent, Shafir, who's welcome back to a brand new episode of Seatedwith Lebo and Thato Rampedi. Guys, today's going to be a good one because we've got somebody who is already on your guys' screen. We've got Avuti voice Thabang in the building, baby. Thabang, I'm so happy to have you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, if you guys don't have Thabang, Thabang had me on his podcast. We recorded last week. It aired yesterday.
Yeah.
So check that out, guys. The link is in the description. But before we get started, guys, let me tell you guys who Thabang is. So we're chilling with the voice, the voice of Caiah.
Yeah.
Just say, how are you? So they can hear why is the voice of Caiah. Just say, how are you?
How are you?
How are you?
Thabang also owns voiceovers and stuff, guys. It's a studio. It's a boutique creative studio focused on transforming ideas into engaging audio and visual content. He also is the founder and main host of Self-Literacy Podcast, where I was, which is a really amazing podcast, guys. I've been binging it, having the time of my life. If you guys enjoy this, you definitely will enjoy Thabang's podcast. And here, of course, is also the husband to Lala. This is a married man, guys. So we've got a professional in marriage today.
Our arms are naked. Our hands are naked. Tata, show them your hands. Our hands are naked. And then it's not a naked hand. Hands naked. Hands.
So before we get into how are you guys, I just want to give you guys some context on today's conversation. This is courtesy of Lebo Rampedi today. So shout out for the subject matter. But
by force. Thato texted me and saying, Lebo, have this thing done by the time we get there. Otherwise, you're fired.
It's not happening.
That's not what happened.
I was preoccupied with the interview before this.
Yes. Tell them the interview about what you must be proud of yourself.
Oh,
that's
yes. I was at YFM doing an interview with Extreme at 11 a.m. Yeah, man, it was cool. We were basically speaking about what I do, the power of collaboration.
Yeah. And
then we're speaking about how on the 28th of June, you guys can catch me at Grind. Yo, a free live read? Basically. You guys can catch me at Grind. It's going to be dope. Yeah, but today we're talking about becoming marriage material, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we're talking about today. The first topic is the act of defining yourself before you get married. I'm going to jump over to, is having a big family a dream of the next generation of black people, which is us?
Or is it dying? Okay.
Gen Z. You know, I'm actually Gen Z.
Yeah?
Yeah. Thabang is a millennial.
Are you sure you're Gen Z?
I'm Gen Z, guys.
Dude,
I found out like a few days ago. I'm
Thato,
Gen Z.
please.
Someone Google how old Gen Z starts. I'm Gen Z.
Please Google the one we check. And then after that...
Thato reminds me of people who stay in Lesotho.
Yeah.
And then come to South Africa. Like in Lesotho, their names are Mutindolo. And then they come to South Africa and then they call themselves Lebo. It's like, why are you denying your age, sir?
Straight out. Like, guys, Gen Z start from 97.
Oh, okay, then you just made it then.
Yeah. No. I'm Gen Z. I didn't just
No, sorry, I didn't mean it like that. I meant like you're within the range, the beginning of the range.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And of course, then after that, we're going to move on to the topic about forgiving your partner and letting go of resentment. And then the last topic, we'll be talking about the fears of a married man. Where do you feel like you lack and can do better? And of course, it would not be a seated with unless we played a game, and we're going to play a game called Makeup or Breakup. Yeah. We're going to give you guys scenarios and stuff, and then we're going to play it and have a conversation. It's going to be fun. Yeah. But let's start with how are you? Exciting, how are you guys? Yeah, I'm excited for this one. Before we go, I used to... call myself a booty voice. No, I have to mention it. I have to mention it. But now that I hear your voice, I think I was a bit ambitious. But yeah, how are you?
We have to patent that name, eh? Like we have to.
Like you literally have to patent it.
Yeah.
Like what? Are you kidding me? But yeah, anyway.
Let's jump into
how are you? Yeah.
So how are you? Basically speak about like how you've been in the past week, your mental, how are you feeling physically, how are your relationships, anything you want to speak about. So we're going to start off with you because you're our guest. And if you feel like we didn't introduce you properly, please feel free to add on to who you are and what you've
good
done.
job, man.
You can say multi-award winning what?
Could have an Oscar for all we know.
Yeah, we don't know.
Well, I have 2 radio awards.
Oh, you see?
But that's not important. How am I doing? I'm doing good. Good energy. I had a submission on Monday.
Oh, yes.
So for those who don't know, I'm doing my master's at Gibbs in international business.
Massive.
We had a submission on Monday at 9 o'clock. And I literally did a cross night. Woke up Sunday morning, went to church, went to go see my parents, my wife and I. Got back home and I was working.
I'm literally, I'm realizing I should stop using those words because the way he says it's so intentional. I'm just like, my wife, my wife and I.
Yeah.
It's like,
but sorry.
Yeah, sorry, yes.
Yeah. So literally worked like since Sunday, slept around 9:30 in the morning on Monday after submitting. I was tired.
Hectic, yo.
Did get some rest. But yeah, I'm back at gym, so good energies.
Nice.
It's home cell today.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward to that, yeah.
If you guys don't know, Thabang is actually my home cell leader, guys. So we've been going to home cell every single Wednesday. I think we spoke about it here and there on the podcast.
We did, yeah.
So I'm going to see him tonight as well, which is very exciting.
What are some of the responsibilities of a home cell leader?
It's to walk the journey with people. Yeah.
Okay.
So to care for people, it's more about caring for people.
Did you start that home cell, or did you it was just from the church and you joined it and then you ended up being one of the leaders, or did you start it? Oh, okay.
I started it. So I was actually leading broadcast at church.
Okay.
I left that to start the home cell.
Okay. And that's where you guys.
Yeah.
And that's where we met.
How old is the home cell actually?
It's a couple of months, bro.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
cool.
incepted in October last
year.
Oh,
so I'm a part of the founding members.
Yeah.
It's been amazing. It's really, really been amazing. Get to meet amazing people.
Yeah. Personally, like my experience at home cell, the people there are amazing. It's also nice to have people that have walked certain paths in life that you haven't walked, from all types of angles, which is great. But yeah, how are you?
How am I? I'm okay. What a great time. Just blessed. Even when I'm angry, I'm like, yes. I'm so happy to be angry about the problems I have now compared to the problems I had last year, So, I'm just grateful for everything. Just trying to keep a positive mind, get over any obstacle, Very hard stuff, but energy is high. And I'm just excited to see what's going to happen in the next couple of months, to be honest. Yeah. How are you doing?
How does it feel to like have your how are you and it just be positive? Because I've heard you do
so refreshing.
Not hundreds. I've heard you do a couple of how are yous.
You can say hundreds actually.
Is it hundreds?
You can do 100.
Over 100 episodes.
I definitely have more than 100.
I've heard you say over 100 how are yous, and
I
think 92 of them were very negative.
It just feels refreshing to be positive, you know what I mean? It just shows that all the work that I'm putting into myself is coming out. But these are the fruits of the labor, you know what I mean? So I'm just trying to be positive, be grateful. How are you doing?
It's nice to hear how you're being positive. I'm also good, bro. I was speaking to an old friend today, She was like, yo, dude, how are you doing? Like, it's been a while. And I didn't have anything negative to say as well. I was like, you know what? Spiritually, I'm good. When it comes to, personal life, I'm great. Friendships, I'm nice. Like, what I'm trying to build is moving, at a good pace. So I think also I'm in a good space. I'm happy. I'm excited for this conversation because I feel like we've got somebody who's in a relationship.
You can say it. Why you so scared to say it?
Sometimes you reprimand me. Sometimes you reprimand me. Okay. Somebody who's in a relationship for a long time.
Yes.
Somebody who's
short
married.
Time,
We've got somebody who's in a talking stage.
Yeah, so you have like different stages of life.
Different stages. And we've got people that have dated for long periods of time.
Yeah.
So I'm so curious to see
how all
opinions.
of us,
are
digesting that the different stages.
Especially going back to the dating times, into now the marriage times. I think we've got so many questions for you as a husband. And I hope you can answer them. If you can't answer them, please feel free to say, my wife wouldn't like that.
Yeah.
Or my wife.
But before we do that, if you guys don't know, we do have an Instagram page called @Seatedwith, and you guys can also participate in the Howaa Youuuu, which Thato's about to read like 3, and then we will continue the conversation with Thabang. But hey, please check out our Instagram handle @Seatedwith. Is that @Seatedwith, ne? And TikTok @Seatedwith, ne? Okay, and Seatedwith. Seatedwith. Yeah. Thato?
Yeah.
What are the people saying? How are they?
I've been good, but struggling with my habits and choosing between career choices and my dreams. I have no idea what between career choices and my dreams are. Between. Oh,
Thato.
it says they're doing it. I've been choosing between career choices and my dream.
Yeah.
So this person basically, they've been better. They're struggling with their habits, which I think is the thing we all go through.
Yeah.
And they're stuck between, do I do this? I'm going to just put it as a 9 to 5 or do I become a pilot?
Let our guest answer the first. How are
How would
you?
you advise them? What would you say?
As a welcome to CTED.
So they're confused.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do I pick my dreams? Do I go for my 9 to 5? Do I do both?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What energizes you? I think we need to look at that. I've never been in a 9 to 5. I think you and I spoke about this. And that's because I know for a fact, should I get into that environment, I will never, ever be energized. So I think people need to look at what actually energizes them.
What pours into your cup?
Yeah, what gives you oxygen, basically. I remember that from a friend of mine. We were having a chat on my podcast, Given, and he said something along those lines that choose the things that give you oxygen. You know what I mean? And sometimes it takes you just shutting the door, right, to the world, and then just sitting down and being in a zone where a higher power can actually speak into you, right?
Real.
And then you can get the answers that you're looking for. Yeah,
Definitely, you're like removing the third parties and just listening to one soul, listening to like letting that higher power come in instead of just letting everyone's like expectations of you come into the play of like, you should do this, you should do that, you should do this, you know. Everything you should do should low-key be for yourself, should feed yourself, you know. So that's my opinion about that one. I don't know what you feel like, Thato, for that one.
No, you guys said it perfectly. You guys said it perfectly.
Give yourself oxygen. Hey,
What energizes you?
As
As soon as we
soon
started speaking, we both just
it's
kept
like quiet. I was like, yeah.
Very powerful. I'm gonna read this person's thing because they have many responses. I think they're trying to paint a story for us.
Yeah.
I don't think we're able to capture everything, but I think it's here. I'm gonna read from where I see it.
Okay.
So this person says, Kodwa Haibo, there are a lot of incidents. Should I just keep my head down and iron? Or just today, I wake up and I find a heap of unironed shirts on the couch. I tried giving him grace. I ironed his shirts for work today. I was in the middle of studying while doing this, and he was busy playing PS5 as I'm ironing his shirts. The first thought was he wants me to iron them, which I did, but last night he asked me to randomly put his unironed laundry on the couch with hangers just to leave for work. So it sounds like this person is complaining
I'd
about
like to
their
be
partner.
controversial. Are they married? They're not married.
It's her brother.
Oh, it's her brother.
She moved
It's
in with
her
her brother.
brother.
Okay, thank you, Ruby.
Oh,
she
context.
moved
That's
in with
such a
the
good,
brother.
that's such an important context.
Sorry, I couldn't read the.
Is the
beginning
brother
of the
the
story.
breadwinner?
Okay, so the brother's the breadwinner.
Yo.
She's moved in. I'm
Hey.
assuming the brother's assisting him.
Yo.
And he feels entitled to her
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
assist
He
him.
needs to stop ironing the shirts and iron the matters out. For real.
Yeah. Goodness.
I don't know.
That's so complex.
That's a bad one.
I
eh?
think
That's a bad one.
what should have happened in that situation before she moved in was a conversation of, if I come and live with you and you support me in this manner, what do you expect from me?
Yeah.
Because I feel like if he had given what he expects to her, she would have been okay with ironing because she would have been aware of what's happening.
Fully.
So there's a miscommunication.
Fully,
So I
yeah.
feel like with those types of situations, you have to know what you're willing to sacrifice in order to be in that situation.
yeah.
And are you willing to say yes to ironing 100 clothes
Or
for free rent?
or no.
Or no.
But also, are we supposed to have a conversation on expectations with siblings or family?
Yo. Yeah, no. These are the hard questions now. I feel like, I mean, honestly, you have a choice as a sibling. You can either live in misinformation and your own mind and your own son, this person hates me, this person doesn't like me, that's why I'm ironing 100 shirts. Or you can be an adult about it and have the conversation and say, okay, listen, buddy, why are you upset? Why are you shouting? Wait, relax. That's what, in my opinion, that's the only way. That's the only way. Otherwise, if you keep quiet, you're always going to live in that
I think
cage.
It's easier said than done. But what you're saying is 100%
But
correct.
we apply. We apply.
We're in our late 20s right now.
Yeah, true.
Put us back when we were teenagers. And
we're at each other's necks.
And that's because we were never taught how to communicate with each other from our parents. So like these people could be in a situation where they're in their early 20s. They've never really been able to communicate and set expectations, you know? Which is why it's so important for you guys to subscribe and watch content like this so you can learn these skills and tricks to improve your relationships. I feel like it's so important to try and learn how to have healthy relationships. Because who's gonna tell you?
Yeah, literally.
So if you guys concur with that, please drop a
Concur.
red heart. Concur with that, drop a red heart.
Yeah, I think they should have a conversation.
Yeah,
Because
literally.
Then if they don't, it might she might end up despising,
Having
guy.
resentment, yes.
And the one thing I always say is the issues of life flow from the heart, right? And you don't want to mess with your heart.
Yeah.
You want to protect and guard your heart all the time.
Yeah.
Literally,
100%. I think that's the last time we're going to read so that it sticks with you.
So we can get straight into
Get
it.
into the conversation.
Take
over, my
so obviously, you know, we are young men, you know, all of us. I can see your skincare is not failing you, sir. I see it, Thabang. But I'm surprised you don't have any wrinkles because he's married. I'm Thato single. As you can see, I look a bit older than Thabang because
no
I don't know if it's because I don't have a ring or what, but there is different expectations of oneself and partner in the different stages of, romance. And we want to start off with talking about oneself, right? And the act of like defining yourself before getting married, you know? How do you say to yourself, okay, I'm finally the man that is of potential or is good enough for marriage. I can be the man that she needs. How do you get to that point of having that confidence in oneself?
How's my character?
Literally.
That's literally it. How's my character looking like? And I think it's something we spoke about in the podcast. I think your character should be the telling factor to some of the decisions you end up making in life. You know what I mean? I always say, I wish I'd met my wife when I was 28 years old or when I was 26 years old, right? But then I sit down and I'm like, but you probably wouldn't have been like ready by the time. So this work that happens, right? And then once you do the work, you mentioned something about, you guys mentioned something about the Howaa Youuus that you guys have made or done, and about 92% of them they were negative.
You see what you're doing now? You're creating characters. My characters now negative out of 100 negative. Yes, my
and it's like you're very positive right now. The energy's different, and it's because you've been really like putting in the work and all of that, right? So I think it's a mirror effect, but it comes with working on yourself, and you then look at yourself in the mirror, because the one question I like to ask is, if you were to look at the mirror and you didn't see yourself but your character, would you smile or would you be terrified? So if you look at the mirror, right, and you smile, you're not terrified, then you know that you are ready to level up and make decisions that are impactful.
Hey, what do you think about what this man is saying to us?
I concur.
You concur. I see you concur. I wanna know though, to a certain extent though, do you not believe that we look at our partners and we see the potential of what they could become? And sometimes that is what we date. That's what we marry. We say, "Oh, I can see this person's on the pattern of getting to here, so I'm willing to wait for them to get there." Is that not like that, or do you feel like no, this person is just 100% made for me and I'm ready? Like, is it like potential or fixed? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
You want to jump into that?
Yeah, I just wanted to add, on top of that, I've seen and I've heard, and I also believe that we date like spitting images of ourselves.
Yes.
So like if you are a negative person, you're likely to attract a negative person. So now when your character is defined and you're looking in the mirror and you're smiling, you're gonna, know that you're with the right person, because then you have built that character in yourself.
Yeah.
And that person exhibits that. But yeah, good question. Like I just wanted to say, like, do you agree with that? That you date, who you are, you attract who you are?
I mean, I like the question. It's a good question. I think a lot of people do fall in love and date potential.
Yeah.
And that's why you find that a lot of relationships end up failing. Right? There's an anchor I believe we should all have when it comes to relationships, especially romantic relationships, because the person you date, right, or rather, who you decide to date is one of the most consequential decisions you'll ever make in your life.
True.
You wake up to that person every day until that person doesn't exist.
Every
That's
single
very
day.
true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
And I think just tapping into my experience, I said on the podcast last week that my wife and I, we've been serving in the same team ministry for the longest time. And before we met, for 2 years, we were in the same vicinity, the same environment at church, serving in the same team. We never saw each other.
Can you see Mudimu doesn't play? Your wife can be in the bathroom when now you are washing your hands and
We
she
never saw
passes
each
you
other.
by.
And he's like, not yet.
Not yet.
Which
Fix the
ties in
character.
with the first question that you
Yeah,
asked, right?
yeah.
It's like, okay, had I met my wife 2 years prior,
Would you have seen the potential? Yeah.
and would I have been ready, right? But he delays that. And remember, delay does not mean denial.
Yeah.
I'll go back to the story of Jairus in the Bible. So Jairus goes to Jesus, right? Jesus is in the vicinity, and he says, listen, very panicky, my daughter, there's something wrong with my daughter. I need you to come to my house. So Jesus obliges, and they go. On their way there's a lady who comes, the woman with the issue of blood, touches Jesus, right? Because she was like, if only I can touch
the
that.
cloth.
That yes. So she snatched a miracle, right? And so Jesus is like, yo, something happened. Somebody touched me. Power left me. And you can imagine at that moment, Jairus came panicked. And now here's this woman, right? And Jairus said nothing. He just stood there. Because I think he understood that somebody else being blessed before him doesn't take away
From his blessing that's coming.
you know what I mean? So just going back to what I was saying, God knew that by that time I was not ready, right? And so we met 2 years later. We met backstage in church, and I knew for a fact that this was my wife. It was only confirmed, like, I think 2 months later, right? Because God sends you what you need, not what you want. So God sent me what I need. And I knew at that moment,
You know, my
this is my
father
wife.
said that. My
God
father's
sends you
my
what you
remember-
need, not what you want.
Amen.
No one! No one!
But remember, our father literally always says this every time
Literally.
we turn to him for like advice when it comes to relationships.
Literally.
He always says, let me tell you something. Your wife, you will know she's your wife from the moment you meet her.
Yeah.
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 So you'll just have that
So
until
I
you know.
knew, just like, because there was this scent that attracted, it was a God scent, right? And I knew that this is not potential. This is who God has sent me. And then I made a decision like a year later, 2 years later, that I'm marrying this girl. So yeah, a lot of people do date potential. And oftentimes when that happens, it's because there's no anchor. The anchor being God.
Can I keep going?
Continue.
Can I continue? In the black community, especially in South African black culture, commitment is a big.
There's no examples.
There's no examples.
There's not that many examples.
Yeah, we idolize these relationships online, and then we find out later on that people cheated or what or broke up, etc.
Yeah.
And we realize how human everyone is.
It's even there subconsciously in like movies and things.
Movies
You'll find a
and
couple who's madly in love, and then this guy meets a new girl,
Yes.
and his mind is distracted. Like It's
or
all
the, or
there.
the lady meets a guy whose hair flows
Yeah,
in there,
he's a
and he's the
surfer.
gardener or
Yes,
something, you know. And then
yes.
but commitment has always been, I like to say, a very big issue with young black men, right? How do you think that you as a man have, I want to say overcome, but I don't want to use it as
have been able to sit in
a disease.
Have been able to sit in.
Yeah, how have you been able to sit in commitment and stay there?
Yes.
The staying part is very important because people commit.
Let's speak about it. I think I want all of us to speak about it first within like the dating phase. Because I think we've all been able to commit.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Then we'll move on to Thabang in the marriage one because that's the stress one we want to learn.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pose it back to you. How are you able to commit to your partner?
Listen,
and constantly choose her?
I'm still learning. This is a lifelong journey. I'm still learning, and that's not like I'm doing random things. I'm saying like I'm still learning that the fact that like, oh, this is like my person, and like I'm going to be with this person only, and like my eyes must not be diverted by anyone.
Yeah, but
it's like a very. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Because I get in the beginning, it's like, yes, I'm fixated on this person, but that's because this person is brand new, shiny.
Yeah.
It just landed into
But I've seen you. So you're in the entertainment space.
Yes,
you're constantly around people that aren't as loyal as you are. I've seen your loyalty to your partner.
Yes.
What makes you choose your partner in all of these instances where there are all of these tangible temptations, and you're like, you know what? I'm just gonna exist, be level, entertain the way I want to entertain.
Because I always think, I don't know, dude. I always feel like it's like a Spider-Man reflex. It's like ding, this one's not worth it. Ding, like all of these women are not worth it. Like there's a lyric, I don't know if it's Kanye, Jay-Z. One good woman is worth 1,000 B words. Nah, that's true, my man. Like, you know, I've also never been in a relationship where we weren't fighting all the time, like back to back. So this is the first time that I'm in a relationship with peace. That is why also, that's a big also reason why I don't like disturbing my peace.
So you're valuing the relationship that you're in.
Do you guys fight though?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Oh,
very important, eh?
I don't know. How do you? I will come to. That one's for me and you on WhatsApp. The one I'm about to. But yeah, what about you in your now single era? How does commitment look like in talking stages and all those things, you know?
Yeah.
Also the thing of,
Yeah.
How does it work?
It also do we also commit in talking stages?
Do we have to commit in talking stages?
Yeah. So I'm someone that's unfortunately been subjected to the new dating terms and conditions of South Africa.
What does that
Okay,
mean?
which are?
It's a talking stage. Exclusivity, and then we go to dating.
This is the 3 stages of talking stage of one stage.
So it's courting.
So
it's courtship.
First there's courtship, and then it's maybe I can be exclusive to you, but we're not really dating.
So there's no tag.
There's no tag. There's no commitment. But then there's no tag, but there's commitment. And then we go into the dating or the relationship, and then there's tag and commitment. So right now I'm in a season where I prefer to see one person. You know, I'm in the season where my heart wants to see one person, but I was in a season where my heart wanted to see.
This season has many feelings and it has many. This season of yours, I'm just saying.
I'm referring to season 3 that I'm on.
Yeah, no.
That I'm going to season 2.
Okay, I'm with you.
I'm saying in season 2, my heart was willing to speak to like 2 goals at one time.
Yes.
Or like 3 goals at one time, like very surface level. Then my heart felt like, no, man, these other ones is unnecessary waste of time. They don't fit what I need. This person is making a lot of sense right now. Let me give my time and energy towards them. Let me try bring them into my life and see if they can be compatible, which is a question I have to you. Answered. Should we be bringing women into our lives before they are our girlfriends even? To do a compatibility test with people
Other
like your
people.
brother, people like your friends, like your community? Or is it a thing of, no, I've got this person, I've courted them, I'm now dating them, and then do they come into your life? Or is it a thing of, I've courted them, I dated them, then I must marry them, and then can they meet my family? You know?
need community, bro.
You
You need a community around you and your partner. Because here's the thing, we don't have a 360 of ourselves. There's always blind spots.
I feel like we're questions and he's the member. You've seen a lot of life, my man. I can tell. Like, what did you say? That's so true.
And that's why you need community within a relationship. So that I can see and say to you, Thato, I need to talk to you. Or Lebo, I need to talk to you. hey, this is what I picked up. I picked that up. And this might be a concern, or that might be a concern. So you need that community. Yeah. You can't just marry a person and then introduce. Like, no. You can't do that.
So even within the talking stage, let me say, even talking stage is disrespectful to say towards Thabang.
Yeah.
Even within the courting stage,
feels wrong.
Even
The courtship.
Is it okay to bring in that person into your community?
So not around everybody.
Yeah.
Yes, but people that you trust. You know what I mean? People that.
So your insiders, like your.
So if you value people's opinions,
Yeah.
you can take your partner to that person.
To see, né?
Yes.
But let's throw you back
Yeah.
couple of years, maybe. You're 21,
I
fresh.
was rocky,
I'm
my
a
friend.
boom boom, you know, you're heavy. Hey guys, how you doing? Hey ladies, hey, how you guys doing? You know what I'm saying? Tell us, how you went from, from that level of, I feel like all black men go through it.
100%.
This level of commitment to going to that, your now level of commitment. Like, it surely has to be a mindset change. Or is it just when you meet the right person? That's what I'm trying to see. Is it you, or is it just when you meet the right
No,
person?
it's not even about meeting the right person. I think at some point I made the decision that this is the trajectory that I want to go into, right? So I think for me, just putting it out there, I wasn't always like this. I used to hawk. I used to like girls, and so on and so forth. But I think at some point we have to choose freedom. I chose freedom.
Peace.
Think about it. Lust takes, love gives. Yeah? I was tired of being perverted. And being perverted, it correlates with lust. So if you're talking to 3 girls at the same time, this, that, and the other, that's a mindset of lust that you have. And I said to myself, I want to be free.
Yeah.
But I think more than anything, for me, everything is anchored by God. I used to live in Bloemfontein. I was on radio there, and then I quit my job, came to Joburg 2019. The conversation I had with myself was that I'm here to work. Joburg swallows people. And I don't want to be a victim of that.
Literally.
So when I got this side, I just made decisions that this is the path that I want to go into. You had occasional stuff where like you're talking to like a couple of girls. But I think after some time you realize that this is shallow. This is
Doesn't serve you. It's empty. There's
yeah,
no
also the
value.
dating scene is so weird. Like I'd meet girls and like in 2 weeks' time, like they want to get into a relationship.
Yeah.
Like, how?
It's ridiculous. Nowadays, the women say one day, Thabang. They say, meet you yesterday. Tomorrow they say, when are we going to start dating?
Yeah.
It's bad.
And so even when the transition happened, right, when I met my wife, God was starting to shift things in my life. And so I always say, like, I'm so happy that I met my girl the time I met her.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't have anybody at the time and the things that were happening in my life were happening, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh. But I liked what you said about the lust and love thing. Like, lust takes, love
really
gives.
Yeah.
You know, very, 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 like, that's the state of me.
I find it's real because lust takes your time, it takes your energy,
Yo, your
it
time.
removes you from your purpose, it
Yeah.
distracts you,
Yeah.
it gives you a crazy point of view. You know, it makes you view women in a way that maybe you shouldn't even be viewing women because you've been so lustful.
You devalue love now
devalue
also
love.
because
Yeah.
you're just like in this like constant loop
Of
like lust
next
and just
one.
getting.
Next one.
But let's moving on from this topic. You know, in the previous generations, you know, we've seen our parents have, 6 kids, 7 kids, 8 kids, 9 kids.
Goodness.
Some even had 2 families. Some had 3. You know, you now, you know, being new
I have
age.
0.
New age, you know, new age, family man, family plan, you know, new age, family man, family plan. We want to know, like, how does it feel for you and your wife, and how big of a family should we build? Should we build a family? Should we not? Economically speaking, financially speaking, is it worth it? Is it not? What's the mindset change? Because back in the day, it used to be, let's have the kids we want to have.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But now we have to be a bit more realistic as black people,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, to maintain finances. Maybe you can take us through.
Look, I mean, there's been a lot of influence. My younger brother, Denyuko, 2022, he was scouted in Miami, Florida, basketball.
Oh, okay.
He's almost as tall as me. He's catching up. I see. So he's in Miami right now. He's been there since 2022. And then earlier this year, he got scouted again by a school called Kent Avenue.
Okay.
So he's in a privileged position, right? And I think when I look at his journey, just transitioning from Sacred Heart to St. John's and now being in America, I'm like, first and foremost, his journey at St. John's, he literally paid for his school fees, right? He had to perform, obviously, academically, but also in terms of sports, basketball, to be precise. And I think I look forward to such, that God is going to gift our kids with whatever, right? And the world is literally the oyster. There's so many endless possibilities. So going back to your question, we are having a conversation around kids. I want a kid next year, baby.
How do you even say that? How do you bring that up to your wife? How do you
just
say?
talk about it.
You say, "Hey, Chief, by the way, I think
I'm like,
I've been thinking.
I've been thinking it's
I'm like, baby.
it's lonely in the house. It's just us,
I'm like, baby, I want kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But obviously, the realistic part is looking at what's happening currently. So my wife and I are both studying. She's doing her MBA with Stellenbosch Business School, and I'm obviously with Gibbs. And she finishes next year. I finish this year. So we have to give room for that, for the studies, right? And maybe enjoy ourselves and then get into the making of the kids. Because we're having the conversation right now. But talking about it doesn't mean it must directly translate into us having kids. You talk about it because that's what responsibility and wisdom is. Talk about it, right? Give yourself time. Do whatever it is that needs to happen, and then get into the practice of it.
I feel like it's so curated now. Do you see the difference? And I feel like now it's more of a conversation, it's more of a partnership. You guys have agreements of like, what are your boundaries? What don't you want? Right now you're studying, you're like, not right now.
Don't perpetuate stuff, man.
Like,
we should not.
Yeah, I feel like people get into performative nature, It's like, okay, what's the next stage? So let's say now, talking stage. Then your partner just puts out this expectation, become boyfriend and girlfriend. Then you become the boyfriend and girlfriend. Then you go to the next stage, let's get married. Then it's like, okay, let's just have kids. And then it's like you keep going to the next thing without having conversations, even realizing that this is a whole journey that's happening.
And what next, what it does, the words, what's next,
yeah,
they actually take a lot from us. They bankrupt us.
I want to say then, like, obviously, maybe you can give us a bit more of your journey because you mentioned your brother and stuff. How you were raised, etc., and the difference that you want to do for your child, etc. I feel like every black man is like, when I become a dad, I'm gonna do this. Like, what are some of the things that you like look forward to in terms of being a new, type of dad?
Sure.
Yeah.
I like that. So my mom and my dad were never in a relationship. In fact, my dad only knew about me when I was 2 years old.
Oh,
we have a relationship, my dad and I.
They're like, ish.
And it was through a mutual friend who said, yo,
that's a vibe.
No, but imagine it's been 2 years, you've been doing life, and you hear you've got a son.
But immediately, like, they took responsibility and made contact with us. In fact, they came. So I grew up in that dynamic where mom and dad was not in the same room, right? And I think for my wife as well, because her parents got divorced. So there's a similar dynamic. And I think for me, that has really been the inspiration behind like just committing to my wife and loving my wife, because also Ephesians, the book of Ephesians, I don't want to use the word encourages or rather commands. I'd rather use the word encourages. It encourages us men, that is, to love our wives as Christ loves the church. It's not easy. It's easy in theory, but in practice it's different, right? So my dynamic has really been like the anchor behind like most of the decisions that I've made, committing to my girl and all of that. And I think because of my dynamic, I'm like, nope. Like, I want my kids to grow up under the same roof with mom and dad around, experience things that I didn't experience, you know, going on a trip with mom and dad, doing this and that with mom and dad. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I also see myself in a similar position, but I feel like my influence is different. I feel like because I grew up with mom and dad being present, they got married first, and they had me, then they had my siblings, grew up in one household, they gave us everything that they could. I want to do the exact same thing, but I feel like I want to incorporate a lot more. My parents watch the podcast. A lot more love and a lot more
Care, not love.
a lot more care. Sorry, of course our parents love us, but a lot more care, a lot more. Like, I want to be able to kiss my kids. I want my kids to feel like, okay, there's tradition, there's holidays. On a Tuesday we do this.
Yeah.
You know, every August we do this. I have the same picture.
Yeah.
My family. How does your picture look like for your kids?
Yeah, man. I feel like
Comedy Tuesdays. Or
yeah, dude. Like, I literally picture like my wife and kids. Like, that's all I can see. The show. That's literally how I see my family. But obviously, I only want to have one child. I just feel like, economically speaking, having more than one child is quite. What are a huge commitments and stuff like that.
What are the factors you guys would say? I mean, outside of just the beautiful story of your brother being able to, like, you know, work hard academically, be blessed by God to, you know, travel and excel in his career. Let's say God is blessing our children in different manners. And we are subjected towards the circumstances of life, which is the economy, our bank balances, income and flow. What are the factors you guys are considering which you think would affect the amount of kids you're going to have?
So the reason I say I always want one child is that, like, I just feel like I want to give my all at something once, you know what I mean? Like, if I have 3 kids, I might give 80% or there, 70% or like, but I know, I'm just being real, guys. Like, I know myself, I know the type of man I am. I know once I've done it once, I'm gonna be like, oh, man, we've cooked we've made a human before. This is working, you know? So the reason I also want one child is also like, just for trips and stuff. I just think of like the bigger picture, the logistics of having like 3 kids. That's an aisle. Like, we used to be in the middle seats and the aisle, and like on the other side, the whole row. And I always used to hear my dad like having like heart pain and of how much the trip cost, because until we get into the vacation.
Because imagine buying 5 tickets, like
Cape Town, guys.
To Cape Town.
To Cape Town, you know, or. And Kiman,
imagine going to KFC and buying 5 meals.
Yeah, it's a choir, by the way. I want, where you can just get one. I want, it's done. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
You know how I knew that our dad was really like feeling the effect of 3 kids?
Yeah.
The rate in which the juice would finish at home.
Oh, yeah.
Like, my dad would buy juice, and then Tuesday comes and be like, guys, I want, man.
That's nothing. My dad used to look at us and literally say,
Lamborghini.
I'd literally be driving a Porsche if it wasn't for you guys. I'd be driving a Lamborghini if it wasn't for you guys.
As a joke.
As a joke, obviously, just to show the monetary value of raising us. But yeah, that's why I really want one kid, because, and me and my partner are always talking about like how many kids, and we both just think one kid is perfect, because it's like, dude, we will not mess this up. Like, we're going to give it our all, because we know this is our one and last chance.
I'm surprised you say that.
That's my reason, guys.
I'm surprised you say that, like, growing up with siblings and being so close to them. Like, wouldn't you want your child to also want...
Yes, so Thato always brings up this, and I always say to him that I have siblings, which means my siblings will have offspring, which means my son or daughter will have siblings, which are the cousins. And I want to have that sense of closeness. I want to live like modern family. I want Tato's house to be 3 houses away. My sister's 10 houses away. He doesn't know this. I'll move after him to make sure that after he pays, I mean, 4 houses down. You see? But cool. What about you? Do you want a big family?
2
what
kids
are the
reasons?
Fine, bro. 2 kids.
2 kids are fine. I don't think about things economically. I don't think about that. I don't focus my energy on that, because I mean, I look at my life right now, and I don't know how I've achieved.
Same,
a lot of the things that I've achieved. So yeah, my focus is on, we have kids, and we're gonna have kids back to back. Just by the way,
what made you get to the number 2 though? What was like, okay, 2, we done now. We don't want to move anymore.
There's no reason.
There's no reason. It's just
Yeah,
the
it's just-
perfect number
yeah.
for you. Feel like that was the perfect
My
number.
wife wants 3, but I'm like, hey, just hold on.
Man.
2 is fine for me, you know.
Yeah. So one thing on the podcast that Thato and I always think about is conflict resolution with partners, right?
Yeah.
And how we can't get on the same page as our, opposite sex sometimes. It can be very hard. And we sometimes, have these arguments with our partners and we build up this resentment. In marriage, obviously when you're married, I see it as a commitment for life. I personally don't believe in divorce. Sorry, that's just my opinion. My bad.
Same
if anyone
here.
disagrees, it's okay. I don't mind. It's fine. But I don't believe in.
What about you?
I agree. I also don't believe in
I don't believe in divorce. So this is your one person, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forgiving that one person must happen often.
Yes.
Explain to us, how do you have a heart that's
It's so forgiving.
so humble to look at a person over and over for
forgive.
many years and just keep forgiving, even if you don't agree sometimes. Yeah.
It's dying to oneself, man. It's, I like to say, and Thato has heard this before, that every relationship is an opportunity to love with Jesus. So if I have a relationship with you, you are an opportunity. So maybe you're a friend, a sibling, whatever the case may be. You are an opportunity for the demonstration of God's power, His love, His grace to take place, right? So there's no method that I can give you guys.
What
and
a
say,
big responsibility.
No, do this, do that. But that's what marriage is. It's not for boys. It's not for girls. So if you do want to get married, whatever work you're doing right now in a relationship, picture it like this: it's 10 times the work.
Sure. Well, what sort of, I want to say, conflict resolution techniques did you and your wife employ that maybe people could use in their own marriages?
Yeah.
Yeah, like maybe you can give us like, hey, when we get into arguments, we do this, or we try to do this, Yeah.
Look, I mean, it's something that we had to work on over time. We came up with something. So my wife's name is Lebo. And then obviously my name is Thabang. So it's TNT. So whenever there's a mention of the word TNT, that's our safe word. That means that safe space is activated now. And then we can talk about and then but also it took time.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, and I say this all the time, I don't know what I'm doing. As a married man, and that's what I say to my wife all the time. I'm like, babe, you've never been married before. You're married for the first time. And so don't try and have things figured out. And that's why community is important, going back to what we were talking about earlier on. Then you know that there's certain people that you can have a chat with.
Yeah.
There's a couple. So they are my dad's friends. So they were at the wedding. They've actually booked us a weekend in Cape Town next month.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
And so we said to ourselves, those are going to be our accountability partner, like that couple.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's a lot of trial and error that happens. So you test the water. It's like, okay, this is not working. You try this. It's not working. You try that. Okay, this works. Okay, let's focus our energies on this and then just refine it. But we got to a point where we came up with a safety word or a safe word. So whenever it's mentioned, then the safety, whatever net is activated, and then we can just speak without condemning one another.
Yeah, I've also seen that, like, when it comes to conflict resolution, one thing that's very, very important and powerful is letting the person you're speaking to feel seen and heard.
Very
Like,
important.
a lot of the time when we're speaking to people and there's conflict, like, it's so easy to be like, yeah, but last time, but. Sometimes these two sentences of, oh, I hear what you're saying, I understand where you're coming from when it comes to you repeat what they're saying, and then you finish that. Then you can move on to the next subject matter. I've also seen in conflict, it's so dangerous to bring up other things that we were fighting about in the past. Let's deal with the subject matter. Let's look at the origin of the subject matter, and then let's move in a linear motion, and then we close it there. I've seen also, like, whenever we have conflict with our partners, we can sometimes lose ourselves, our girlfriends, wives, talking stages can lose themselves. Even us, we can lose ourselves. And then we hyper-focus on that person losing themselves.
Yes.
Them getting a bit too turned, them getting a bit too upset, maybe raising their voice, maybe using language we don't like. I also feel like that needs to be a moment where we say, okay, cool, let us take a step and gather ourselves, continue the conversation, and then you address them losing themselves another day. Because now the main focus is going to be the fact that you've lost yourself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. 100%.
You're basically talking about accountability.
Yes.
Yeah.
Literally.
It's literally that. And sometimes if you feel that it's too much at the time, just tell your partner that, listen, I can't do this right now. I need like a breather. So I'm gonna step away, walk away, or whatever the case may be. Can we talk about this later on? So it's basically a matter of communicating.
Yeah.
But
But have you seen those moments when you say, can you speak later? Now when people are putting glasses down, they're putting them like this.
then it's fine.
Now when they're moving, they're saying, can you please move?
We must-
Pick your feet up. Sorry.
we must be very careful when and when not to wear a cape. Because I think even in moments where you don't have to wear a cape, you want to wear a cape.
Yeah.
If somebody's doing that, let them do that.
Real. Don't be a hero now and say, what's happening? What's wrong?
You know what I mean?
I hear what you're saying. So real. Because now because now this person is maybe in some sort of state where they don't understand how they feel and they are still reactive with their body.
Yes.
Now you're gonna come and try and fix this reaction, but it's gonna die down.
And now you become a
Sometimes you
savior.
must just let them.
Let them perform.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So now it's the time to cool off now. We've had a very serious conversation. Shoulders are up. I know the wife was watching, but now we're going to play a game. It's just an opinion.
Yes.
Also, I know people are watching. It's just an opinion, okay? Okay, we're going to play a game today. It's not top 5, but today's actually make up or break up. I'm going to give you guys a couple of scenarios where a woman is being either outrageous or completely in her right.
Okay.
And you guys will decide and have a conversation. Do you make up of the person or break up with the person? Game simple. You guys both understand. Awesome. She refuses cooking for you and insists it's only for her to do when she becomes a wife. Is it a makeup or breakup?
For me, it's a breakup.
This is a girlfriend now. So she refuses to cook and says this is a wifely duty. So I will only cook for you when I become your wife.
Then also me, I'm going to have to remove many duties that I'm currently doing. Breakup. I can't. I'm so sorry.
I'd say breakup
I'd
or
say
so.
breakup,
Just to be honest. I wouldn't. You know why? Let me.
Thabang's like, what?
Thabang's like, These bachelors. These bachelors.
There's no understanding of marriage. No, for real. Like for me, guys, certain acts of service that a woman provide towards me when we've been talking for a long period of time, dating, help me feel loved, cared for. And I feel like if I communicate with my partner that I'd love for her to make me is mincemeat and spaghetti, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and she says no, I'm gonna have to feel some type of way. I feel like she's trying to coerce me into marriage, even by not doing that thing. Unless my partner just hates cooking.
No, because some people believe in like a reward system, like, hey, when I become your girlfriend,
Then I
we
can
can
do
post
this.
each
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
When I become your wife, we can
Do these things.
do this to each other, Maybe you can speak to us, my man, at the corner here.
That's very interesting. That was never my experience. So, look, I like cooking, right? So I used to cook for my wife, for my girlfriend then. She'd cook for me. So it was never my experience.
If it was?
Let's give him a one word.
If Lala was like, I can't.
I won't.
Cool. You can't command me to do an action without having put a ring on my finger.
Not even a sandwich.
Nothing.
Not a sandwich.
Are you my husband?
So good.
You wouldn't be able to. We all agree it's a breakup, right? Awesome. The next one is she randomly calls you to check exactly where you are at and who you are with throughout the day. If you fail to answer, she is upset.
Break up.
This one I can work with. I don't mind a Robocop once in a while.
I have a commander general.
Yeah,
Who are you with?
I don't mind a home affairs. I find my iPhone.
No, sir.
I don't mind finding my iPhone. But that one is very much like I don't know. Some people justify it and say like, I just want to know that you are safe.
Safe. We've heard that one too many times.
It's a breakup for me. Break up.
Why break up?
No, I want to. Okay, please answer.
Yeah, why break up?
Because then it feels like I'm being policed.
Policed.
And also, it shows that, or it suggests that there's no trust.
There's no trust.
I agree. I think it depends on how you do it. If I have to like answer those questions and I don't answer those questions, I get upset. Like, and let's say I'm in the studio and I refuse to say who I'm with. And I'm in trouble, then break up. It's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But if she's genuinely calling me like twice a day to check on her baby, like, are you okay, baby? Yeah, who you with? I'm with Thabang. Okay. What are you doing? Oh, we're shooting. Okay, are you okay? I'm good, baby. You hungry? I'm hungry. Let me order you food. Okay, I love you, baby.
Going too far, Thato. She's just checking locations.
Right.
She's just checking locations. She's not spoiling you.
Break up.
Definitely.
Break up.
Okay, she will not go to your parents' side for Christmas every year as she has family traditions that occur on her family side on Christmas every single year. This one, I don't mind. Like, I really don't mind. I don't mind giving up a holiday as long as, like, I get my own holiday as well. So I'm very much like that. And, like, because clearly, if it's a tradition for her family, guys, a tradition every single year.
A relationship is not a sacrifice. It's a compromise.
Nazo.
Yeah. Lawana knows.
Yes. No, he's right. He's right. And if you hear that next week, please
But
don't
what if you don't really care about, like, okay, what if you don't really care about Christmas?
Not even about that.
So you believe it should be like 50-50 for the, like, let's say, the only time I trip about this is if we had kids, right? If we had kids, I'd like the grandchildren to at least experience both sides of the family. Yeah. But if it's just us two, every Christmas, I don't mind saying, we can go to your family Christmas. 28.
I'm sensing you'd like a warden in your life, ne?
28 to go to.
You want a commander general in chief.
The people guarding Thabo Besta. Yeah, that's what you want.
You want something like that, man.
Yeah, okay, fine. I can see I'm the only one who's saying makeup. Would you guys saying breakup?
Break up. I feel like I'm marrying you. I always tell people that I'm dating if I feel like I'd ever want to marry them. Okay, I've only said this once. I said, if I'm going to marry you, when I marry you, you must understand that your father is no longer your commander general. He's your father. We love and respect him. But when it comes to household decisions, they are made between you and I.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
You are the first family member.
I'm the first family member. I'm actually your leadership.
Yeah.
You understand? And then you are my general, and then you can suggest orders, you know? And if I feel like, wow, these orders are amazing, I will then, action them out.
I fully agree. A man should lead in a relationship.
So
that's
that one,
a fact.
it's going to be a big... It's going to be a big miscommunication. It's going to be a big miscommunication when it comes to who really leads our family. Because now it seems like your parents and your family
is more important.
Is the highest level of authority in this relationship.
So, but how do you balance it? So you guys are saying 1 year we're at yours, 1 year, or you're saying 3 years? Because I'm a heavy petty father, and I am aware many years, in fact, we went back to back one place. Do you guys want to do it like that, where it's like 3 years my place, or 1 year, 1 year, 1 year, 1 year, 1 year?
I think it's a balance of overall holidays.
Yeah.
And then if there's a holiday that sits on your heart heavy, we can interchange back and forth. You get what I'm saying? But I wouldn't mind, let's say we do Easter this year at me, and then Christmas at you. Even if we do Christmas again at you, maybe we keep doing Easter at me. But it must be like a thing of like we've decided as our
But also you have to be realistic. For instance, with my situation, so you have my dad, who's here in Joburg, with my stepmom, my mom in Bloem, and then my wife's mom in Pretoria. So, for instance, on Sunday after church, we went to my dad's. On Sunday, we go into Pretoria, and then I think in a month's time, we have to get on a flight and go to Bloem. So you have to strike and find balance. But it comes with you guys having a conversation within your household first, and then suggesting or telling people that, okay, this is what we're going to be doing. Yeah.
So you believe in seeing like your parents every Sunday, like
no, not
regularly?
every Sunday.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not realistic.
Yeah, you know.
But like at least like once a month, though.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, but no.
Oh, it's just what happened the past 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Every month. It's not good for anyone's blood pressure in the family. See each other every month.
I mean, I would like that.
Really, I'd like that of my siblings and like
I'd like for my dad to say, guys, I'm gonna host you guys for a braai once a month. You guys have to come.
Me too. Maybe when he's a bit older. And he's less threatening.
Or you can say, hey.
Yeah, when I say, hey, when are you old man? Sit down.
And it's so fun to hang out with my dad. But I think based on what a person does and like the traveling and just the commitments, going there every week is just
unrealistic.
It's not possible. Yeah.
Okay, we've got the last one. Basically, she does not want to know anything to do with household finances, but wants to enjoy continuing the money. She does not want to know where it comes from. She doesn't want to know how the water is coming through the tap. She doesn't want to know how the electricity is on. She just wants to enjoy. Matt irritates her. That's basically, it annoys her. So when you say, no, babe, we need to do this 1,000 rand.
So now in her income, can I pull some money towards the household?
Of course. She doesn't, you can. Of course you can. You can use her money for investments, whatever. But she doesn't want to know. And if we're losing, she doesn't want you to tell her. Because again, you are the one losing. I'm here enjoying.
I wouldn't mind that.
You wouldn't mind. It's not
I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, like if it's balanced and she says, you know, baby, okay. I make 10,000 rand a month.
Yeah.
Here's my 6,000 contribution.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep 4 for this maintenance.
No, Thato, you're irritated. You see now, Matt is starting 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. No. She doesn't. You must do her saving plan. You must do her funeral plan. You must do her medical aid. No. You must basically anything financial. You must sort out.
No.
I think I wouldn't mind.
I say break up. No way.
I definitely wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I would definitely mind. Imagine you having a tough month financially, and here's Muto. Oh, babe, I'm hungry.
Yeah, we don't have oysters.
Let's go have oysters. Let's go have dinner.
In the moment you can say, baby, we only have what? Bread.
Okay. What is our agreement?
All right.
What is our agreement?
Break up.
Yeah, thank you.
6-3.
Yeah, okay, I guess that's the end of it, guys. That's the last thing. I want to say thank you so much, 100%. Obviously, for being on the podcast. We definitely learned a lot. The biggest thing as my final remarks and takeaways, that what I really liked about everything that you say, it was either anchored in faith or anchored to cater towards the both of you. Not, this is what we learn from other relationships and we apply. You take what you two like, you build from that, and it's basically your guys' own uniform. It doesn't work for anyone else but you two. And I think, if anything, the audience must take that, cater to your relationship, cater to your characteristics, cater to what makes you feel safe. They have TNT, but other people say TNT, but it's like, what among TNT, So I'm just saying, cater towards your own space.
Do what works for
you.
you.
That's my final remark. No, I'll finish off with you. Yeah,
I was going to say, thanks for coming today. It's always a pleasure having you in the room. This is the reason why I go to home every single Wednesdays, because we have these types of conversations. Yeah. They're all centered around, scripture and God. So it's always fulfilling. So thank you for filling us up 100%. Today. Thank you for filling up the audience. We call them the.
We don't know. CTAs.
No. We changed the name.
We changed it.
So because the audience is 80% women, we call them the disciples.
Oh, the disciples.
Because they take what we say
and spread it to the men.
To their boyfriends,
the boyfriends. Because
so
our podcast is to help young men, but the women are the ones subscribing. We don't know what the hell is happening.
But
maybe
they know the word is going out there.
But yeah.
So shout out to the disciples. Thank you for blessing them with all of what you said. They will take it now and go to their boyfriends and the husbands and talking stages.
Thabang on the podcast.
And they'll say, babe, Thabang said on Seated. And that boyfriend will be frustrated, but it will go inside.
Yeah, it will go somewhere.
As she speaks.
Yeah.
Amen.
Is there any final remarks that you want to make, just to say, hey guys, hey, this is whatever, anything from the conversation that you just want to say? The most important thing was, we'd like that from you. Yeah.
Well, thank you for the invite.
Yeah.
I love your energy, guys. Keep at it. But I want to say to the audience, cry. Please cry.
True.
It's pivotal. Till today, I can't comprehend the fact that on the cross, Jesus cried. So if he did, why is it that we feel the need to have everything together all the damn time? Cry, but don't camp there. Cry, because we're dealing with a lot of stuff. Cry, let it out, but then don't camp there. Move on with life after. That's all I want to say.
Wow.
This was dope.
Guys, do you hear this guy? This guy is giving us Pinterest quotes. Okay, we'll see you guys. But it was beautiful, guys. Thank you so much to you, Thabang, guys. And please check out his podcast. This guy's mind is beautiful. Yeah. But we'll see you guys next time. It's been Seated, guys. Thank you so much.